So I'm doing a bit of a different style of video today. Right now all you guys can see is a black screen, but if you give me one moment, there we go. Now you guys can see very small centered light. Now why is this? Well, right now I'm in a pitch black, well not pitch black dark room, but a pretty dark room. And why am I doing that? Well, I'm looking at UV reactive minerals with a long wave UV flashlight. When I say UV, I mean ultraviolet light. So what you see in front of me right now is actually mineral specimens that I collected from the CN rock dump. Now I knew ahead of time that some of these minerals could fluoresce. I didn't actually bring a UV flashlight with me because I didn't have one at the time. But now you guys can see the ones that I took home that did fluoresce. So first let's start with the nice bright orange guys right in front. These guys are, it's pronounced hackmanite, I believe. I'll put the spelling up in the the left hand corner of the screen just for you guys to see, but you can see it's a nice bright orange mineral. Now the other ones, this one, you can see those veins of green. Now in person those veins of green aren't as bright green as they are on my screen. They're a little more lighter green yellowish color. I don't know what this mineral is specifically. I'll post a picture right now of this mineral, the mineral on the left that has the nice green fluorescent spots in normal light as well. And the mineral on the right also, you can kind of see there's a green fluorescent spot. One thing this camera isn't picking up well is a lot of the hackmanite specimens and that specimen on the right also have a kind of a purple, like a dark purple tinge. Right now it's kind of coming out as maybe slightly purple but more blue, because the way I have the camera set up right now is the best way to pick up these UV reactive rocks. I don't have a better setup. Hopefully in the future I might be able to, but for now this is what I have to work with. But I'll get into the next part. I'll show you what all of these look like under normal light. So I'll show you the hackmanite, that right specimen on the right where you can see there's a bit of orange, there's a bit of hackmanite, and then there's this kind of a yellow greenish color to it. It's actually that one on the right is more yellow than this one on the left. This one on the left is much more green. Actually the green picks up much more nicely on this one. This one you can see. But I'll also show you some other mineral specimens that I have in my collection that have this UV reactiveness. Just give me a second while I move these off to the side. And let me just clean this off because it's not nice. Let's start with these guys. These guys actually came with this flashlight. I bought this flashlight off of a website that's specifically set up for people who hunt this specific stone in front of me. This stone comes from, I believe it's Michigan. It can be found on the lakes, on the shores of lakes in Michigan, and it's a type of sodalite, or I think it's related to sodalite. It's in the same group as sodalite, like mineral group, or maybe it is sodalite, but it goes by a different name. It's called Yooperlite. Once again, I'll put the name in the left-hand corner. As you can see, this also has a beautiful kind of orange color to it. Next, I'll go on to some more interesting specimens. Let's see if I can find them. It's a little hard since I'm working in. Here's another specimen I personally collected. You can see this one also, similar to the two bigger specimens that I first showed, has this nice green fluorescence. This one, I actually kind of like to look better through the camera. I don't know why. The color is just nicer. In person, it's a much more lighter yellowish green, whereas this is a much more vibrant green color. This is actually a specimen from Grace Lake Roadcut. It's some kind of mineralization on the back of a actinolite tremolite series crystal. I believe it's probably like just some like calcite or something similar to calcite. Next, we'll move on to some. Actually, where is it? If I can find it. Here you can actually see. This is a slab of crazy lace agate that I bought at a rock show a while back. But you can see it doesn't pick up as well. But this one, the spots that are much more like white on the camera, those actually have a slight fluorescence to them. They're actually, in the way I see it, is a very like light yellow fluorescence. So that's very cool. Too bad it doesn't pick it up well. I'll go on to. So this is a piece of biotite mica. Let me move that. See if I can fit all of them. Piece of biotite, a selenite rose. So that's gypsum. Selenite is a variation of gypsum. I'll put this guy up here. And then, oh, there we go. There we go. That looks much better. So you can see here I have a, technically this is, I'll have to put the name up in the corner of the mic for the mica. It's not biotite, it's some other mica. It's this very specific type of mica. But what's fluorescing in the mica actually, if you can see, are chunks of calcite that grew into the mica. Now the selenite is fluorescing as well. It's got a beautiful color. And then this is a septarian nodule, the one at the top. Septarian nodule, basically, I'll put a little description. I forget exactly how it forms, but basically it's you see the cracked parts, that's all calcite. And it's calcite in some type of host rock. I believe it fills into a broken host rock, and that's why you get that cracked thing. But what's interesting about these is if I turn off my light, especially with the gypsum, you just notice there that I'm gonna just move this guy off to the side and just focus on one at a time. The gypsum actually continued to glow even though I turned off my UV light. Now why is that? So some UV reactive minerals have an added trait to them known as phosphorescence. Phosphorescence, basically, let me just quickly explain why these rocks are glowing in the first place. The reason these rocks are glowing in the first place is that there's some kind of energy reaction that occurs in these rocks where it reacts to the energy of the UV light. So it absorbs, and this can be different from minerals. Like there's a different reason why certain minerals absorb UV light, and there's reasons why the light that is shown, like that is launched out again, the energy that is released, because it absorbs the UV light and then releases that energy of the UV light as a certain color, and that's why you see certain colors. Like for example, you see the bright green of the calcite here in the book. But when it comes to phosphorescence, there's an added little thing that certain minerals can actually continue to release that energy, that color, that give off that certain glow, even if they're not being hit by UV light. Now, the specimen should do it. Maybe I gotta blast it much closer. It was working before. I did test it. And let's see. There you go. You saw that it, for a faint second, that there was, even though the light was off, there was still a green glow. I believe the septarian nodule will actually do better. So if I just hold my light on it for a while, sorry if it gets a little bright, I'm just trying to blast this with UV light. And hopefully, if I take this off, you can see right there, you saw in the corner how the spot where the UV light was most directly on the mineral specimen itself, you saw how even after the flashlight, the specimen continued to glow. Now what's really nice is that the selenite rose that I have is highly phosphorescent. Unlike the last two, like if I shine my light, you see how like it just becomes so bright. So I actually have to keep my light off of it, but in order to charge it, I'm gonna, sorry, this might look very bright, but I'll turn it off and you see how long that takes. And right now it's still slightly glowing. Like I can see it personally that it's still slightly glowing, even though the camera can't pick up that minute amount of light. But one thing, another interesting thing, with these UV reactive rocks, you have to remember that, and you can only really show this with phosphorescent rocks and minerals, that if you move them, you see how there's, I need to do that a little faster, sorry. I'll show you. So blast it, and then you can see how the bottom of the rock, it was only the top, the bottom did not have the light. So it's only the part of the rock that is exposed directly to UV light that will react. The part of the rock that is not exposed to UV light will stay non-reactive. And then you won't see this green phosphorescence. But yeah, that is my UV reactive mineral collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of content. It was a lot of fun to make for me. I really enjoyed it. Let me just move in a couple other interesting rocks to show off. Let's do all the nice orange ones that show up nicely. Like I said, I really enjoyed doing this. If you like this type of content, please do drop a like, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I really want to share my love of the hobby with as many people as possible, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day or good evening.